Okay, so you've sent us this collection of research articles
Yeah.
about learning with tools.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really fascinating stuff. I mean, you're really getting into this question of like, when is it better to actually have something you can touch
Right.
and like move around, a physical object
Yeah.
versus something on a screen,
Like a virtual tool.
yeah, exactly, a virtual tool.
Yeah.
And what about when you like combine them?
Yeah.
What happens then?
It's a really interesting question. And, when you think about it, it seems kind of obvious. Like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, of course, hands-on learning is better.
Yeah.
But when you dig into the research and you send us like 54 articles,
Real.
it gets a lot more complicated.
Yeah.
It's not just as simple.
Right.
One is better situation. There are a lot of different ideas about why each type of tool might be effective.
That's what was so interesting to me is like I thought going in, okay, we're going to kind of come down on one side or the other.
Right.
But it's really not that simple.
No, it's not.
So with that much research,
Yeah.
we obviously can't go through every single article.
Right.
But our goal is to kind of like pull out the main ideas. What are the big takeaways?
Absolutely.
And really get into like the different theories. Like why do these tools work or sometimes not work, and what does that mean for someone who's actually trying to learn something?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of our mission today is to like
That's a good way to put it.
unpack all of that.
Yeah.
So to even start, like the research talks a lot about visual representations.
Right.
So what are we even talking about there?
Yeah, so just to make sure we're all on the same page,
Mm-hmm.
visual representation is basically something that stands in for something else.
Okay.
It could be an object, it could be an idea,
Right.
and it uses similar features to what it represents.
So like a map.
Exactly like a map.
Yeah.
The lines and symbols represent roads and places.
Okay, got it.
So within that, we're specifically looking at two types in this deep dive: physical representations
Yeah.
and virtual representations.
Okay, so physical representations are like the real things.
Exactly.
Like the models, the blocks.
Yeah, anything you can actually touch.
Yeah, you can actually hold it.
Yeah, get your hands on it.
Yeah, and virtual representations are the ones on the screen.
Right. You interact with them using a mouse or your fingers on a tablet.
And then there's that whole other category of like blended.
Yeah, that's right. Kind of a mix of the two.
Yeah, where you might have like a physical button that then like triggers something.
Exactly. Or you're moving a physical object,
Right.
but it's controlling something on a screen.
Yeah, really interesting.
Yeah, so the key thing to remember here is that we're focusing on the ones that are interactive.
Okay.
So you, the learner, can actually manipulate them in some way.
It's not just looking at a picture.
It's not just passively looking.
Okay, so you have to be able to like actually do something with it.
Right. That's the key.
Okay, so now we've got like a good definition. So let's get into the nitty-gritty here.
Let's do it.
What are the different theories, that researchers have come up with to try to explain why one of these types of tools
Right.
might be better for learning than the other? So your sources, they highlight 5 main ways that researchers are thinking about this.
That's right. 5 different sort of theoretical perspectives.
Yeah, so think of them as like 5 different lenses to look at this same question.
I like that.
So the first one is physical engagement.
Okay.
So what is that all about?
Yeah, what's the central idea there?
So this one I think is like the most kind of intuitive.
Yeah.
It's been around for a long time.
It has even before computers were a thing.
Yeah, exactly. And
Right.
the idea is basically, when you're physically interacting with something, like you're holding it, you're moving it around.
Yeah.
It's just inherently more motivating.
Right.
You're more engaged.
Grabs your attention.
Yeah, it grabs your attention.
Yeah.
You're not going to fall asleep.
Right.
And the thought is that, that deeper level of engagement leads to you processing the information more deeply, and then you learn it better.
And because it's a real concrete thing,
Yeah.
it can connect more easily to your prior knowledge.
Yeah, you can kind of like build on what you already know.
Right.
What's interesting is like how the research kind of views this idea.
Yeah. There seems to be a bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah, there is. There's like kind of a split in the findings.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when researchers are looking at those like blended technologies where you're doing something physical,
Right.
but there's also a digital component,
Yeah.
they see physical engagement as like a real plus.
It seems to help.
Yeah, it does. But then when they compare like a purely physical tool to a purely virtual one,
Okay.
sometimes it seems like this idea of physical engagement isn't as impactful.
Yeah.
And they even say, maybe it's a little outdated.
Like it's not the whole
Yeah, it's not the whole story there are other things going on.
Right.
So I think the takeaway there is that, like, yes, physically interacting with something can be engaging,
Can be.
but that might not be the main reason
Yeah.
why it helps you learn.
Right. Engagement in itself isn't enough.
Yeah, it's a factor, but maybe not the, like, deciding factor.
Okay, so engagement is important,
Yeah,
but it has to actually serve the learning goals.
it does.
Okay, so let's move on to the second one,
Okay.
which is cognitive load.
Okay, what's that one all about?
So this one is all about how much information our brains can handle at a given time.
Right.
So specifically, our working memory.
Like where we're actively thinking?
Yeah, the mental space where you're like actively processing information.
Okay.
And the basic idea is that we have a limited capacity.
Right. Like our brains can only hold so much.
Exactly. And if we try to cram too much in there,
Yeah.
or if the materials are presented poorly,
Yeah.
then learning is going to suffer.
It's like trying to stuff,
Yeah,
10 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound bag.
exactly. It's not going to work.
It could be a mess.
Right.
So there are different types of cognitive load,
There are.
but the one that's really relevant here is called extraneous load.
Okay.
And this is basically like the mental effort that comes from the way the information is presented.
Right.
So it's not the actual content itself.
The core content.
Yeah. But it's like all the extra stuff.
Yeah, the way it's structured.
The way it's presented. And this is where a lot of people argue that virtual representations
Okay.
have an advantage.
How so?
So how can they reduce this like extraneous load?
Mhm.
So there are a couple of key ways the research talks about.
Okay.
One is this idea of the contiguity principle.
Contiguity.
So basically with virtual tools,
Mm.
you can often put the instructions
Okay.
and the visuals,
The actual thing you're learning about.
yeah, right next to each other,
Yeah.
or even like integrated together on the screen. So you're not having to like flip back and forth
Right.
between like a physical object and then a separate instruction sheet.
Which can be really mentally taxing.
It can.
Yeah.
And it takes up space in your working memory.
Exactly. You have to remember what you read on the instructions and then
Yeah.
apply it to the physical object.
Yeah. And then you're like, wait, what was step one again?
Right, exactly.
Okay, so the second one is the coherence principle.
Coherence.
And this is the idea that virtual tools can be designed to eliminate all those unnecessary details.
But distracting stuff.
Yeah, that might be part of a physical object.
Yeah, so like with a physical model, there might be all sorts of little details that are actually irrelevant to the concept.
Right, it's just part of like the real world object.
Right, but those details can actually distract you
Yes.
from what you're supposed to be learning.
Right.
So the researchers call these seductive details
Okay.
because they're interesting,
They are.
but they're not helpful for learning.
Got it.
So virtual tools can just eliminate those completely.
Yeah, make it really focused.
Right, and they can also do things like use highlighting
Yeah.
to draw your attention to the important parts.
Make sure you don't miss it.
Exactly. And they can even automate some of the tasks.
Oh, interesting.
So you don't have to spend your mental energy
Like the repetitive stuff.
on the boring stuff.
Yeah.
You can focus on the actual learning.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm imagining some people would say like, well,
Yeah.
but actually holding something and moving it
Yeah.
feels more natural to me than like trying to figure out,
Than using a mouse or...
yeah, how to manipulate something on a screen.
Yeah. And for some people and some tasks, that's absolutely true.
Okay.
So it really highlights that the design of both the physical and the virtual tool
Yeah.
is super important.
It's not just like physical good, virtual bad.
It's not that simple.
Okay.
No, a poorly designed virtual tool could actually create a lot of cognitive load.
Yeah, it could be really confusing.
Exactly.
Okay, so the big takeaway here is that
Mm-hmm.
virtual tools can be designed in ways
Yeah.
that reduce mental effort,
Right.
but it's not automatic.
It's not a guarantee.
Yeah, you have to really think about the design.
Good design is crucial.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move on to the third one.
All right.
This one is called haptic encoding.
Haptic encoding.
What do you think that's about, based on the name?
I'm thinking it has something to do with like touch.
You are absolutely right.
Okay.
So this one is all about the information that we get
Mhm.
through our sense of touch.
Okay.
So those tactile cues.
Yeah.
And the idea is that physical objects give us this extra layer of information on
Yeah.
top of what we see.
You can feel it.
You can feel it, exactly.
Yeah.
And the theory suggests that this might benefit learning in a few different ways.
Okay. How so?
So first, having both the visual and the tactile information
Mm-hmm.
can give you more ways to remember something. It's like having extra hooks in your memory.
More retrieval cues.
Yeah,
I need to
exactly.
get-
Retrieval cues.
Okay.
Second, touching something physically can help you understand abstract concepts in a more concrete way.
Like grounding it.
Yeah, grounding it in a real experience.
Yeah.
So I imagine you're learning about different types of materials, like wood or metal.
Okay.
If you can actually feel the texture,
Right.
it's going to help you understand those concepts better.
Yeah, you're not just looking at a picture of wood.
Right. You're actually experiencing it.
You're feeling it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And third, some researchers think that our sense of touch might use different parts of our working memory
Oh, interesting.
than our vision.
Like,
So by engaging our sense of touch, we might actually be increasing our overall cognitive capacity.
like we're tapping into a different part of our brain.
Exactly. We're using more of our brain.
Okay, so it's not just about being more engaged.
Right.
It's like actually using different parts
Yeah.
of our brain.
It's a different kind of engagement.
Okay.
But there's a really important caveat here.
What's that?
It's not just about touching anything.
Right.
It has to be relevant.
Okay.
This theory is very concept specific.
Concept specific.
So the object needs to provide haptic cues that actually relate to what you're trying to learn.
Okay, so give me an example.
Yeah, so let's say you're learning about geometric shapes.
Okay.
If you have a set of blocks
Yeah.
that are different shapes,
Different shapes.
you can feel the corners, you can feel the edges.
Yeah.
That's going to help you understand those shapes better.
Right, because the feeling of it
Exactly.
is directly related to the concept.
Yeah, but if you're just holding like a smooth ball,
Right.
that's not really going to help you.
Yeah, it's not giving you any extra information.
It's not giving you any relevant information.
Okay, so the research shows benefits for memory,
Yeah.
for understanding abstract ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even for freeing up some of those mental resources. But only when that touch is actually giving you useful information.
Only when it's meaningful.
Okay.
So the key takeaway there is that it's not just about touch in general. It's about touch that actually conveys information.
Okay, got it.
All right, so let's move on to the fourth perspective.
Okay.
This one is embodied action schemas.
Embodied action schemas. That's a mouthful.
It is. It sounds kind of complicated.
Yeah. What's the basic idea?
So this one gets into this idea that our body movements can actually influence how we think.
Okay.
And it's based on the idea that our brains often mentally simulate actions, even when we're not actually moving.
So like we're imagining ourselves doing something.
Exactly. And these mental simulations are closely tied to our physical experiences.
Yep.
So think about all the phrases we use to describe understanding, like grasping an idea or handling a problem.
Wrapping your head around something.
Exactly. We use these physical metaphors to talk about abstract concepts. So the core idea here is that if you physically interact with something in a way that aligns with these mental action schemas, it can help you ground those abstract ideas.
Like make them more real.
Exactly. Make them more concrete and easier to understand. And sometimes this can happen without you even realizing it.
Like it's happening on a subconscious level.
Exactly. It's an implicit process.
Okay.
And what's even more interesting is that the research shows that even just observing or imagining these movements can activate those same mental schemas.
So you don't even have to actually do it.
You don't even have to do it yourself.
That's wild. Okay.
Yeah. So the key distinction here from physical engagement is that it's not just about moving your hands.
It's not just about being hands-on.
It's about the specific type of movement and how well it matches the concept you're learning.
Okay, so give me an example.
Okay, so let's say you're learning about something that involves rotation.
Right.
Like the Earth rotating around the sun. If you have a physical model and you can actually rotate it with your hands, that's going to activate that mental schema of rotation.
Okay.
And it's going to help you understand the concept better.
Yeah.
But if you're just like tapping on the model, that's not really going to do much.
It's not the right kind of movement.
It's not a congruent movement.
Okay, so the takeaway is that the way you move might be more important than whether the tool is physical or virtual.
Exactly. The type of movement matters more than the medium.
Really interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so the fifth one.
The fifth and final one.
Conceptual salience.
Conceptual salience.
What is that all about?
So this one focuses on what aspects of a concept the learner actually pays attention to. And the idea is that the design of the learning tool, whether it's physical or virtual, can really influence this.
Okay.
So basically, it's rooted in information processing, which is this idea that you have to notice something before you can process it and learn from it.
You can't learn what you don't see.
Exactly. So if a tool makes the key features of a concept really noticeable.
Like it jumps out at you.
Yeah, like it jumps out at you. Or what researchers call salient.
Salient, okay.
And if those salient features are actually important for understanding the concept, then that's what we call conceptual salience.
Conceptual salient, okay. So how do physical and virtual tools like actually do that?
Yeah, how do they influence what becomes salient?
So they do this through something called affordances.
Affordances.
Which basically means like what actions they naturally allow for.
Right, so different tools allow you to do different things, and that leads you to focus on different things.
Okay, so an example.
Yeah, so imagine you're trying to teach someone about the movement of molecules.
Okay, something you can't see.
Something you can't see with the naked eye.
Right.
So virtual simulation would be really good at making that visible.
Yeah, you could actually see the molecules moving around.
Right, you could zoom in, you could slow it down.
Yeah.
And virtual tools can also provide immediate feedback.
Right.
So you can see the cause and effect.
Yeah, you do something and you see what happens.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about physical tools?
So physical tools might be really good at highlighting spatial relationships.
Okay.
So if you're learning about how gears fit together, having a physical model where you can actually turn the gears and see how they interact is going to be really helpful.
You can feel how they fit together.
Exactly. And physical tools can also help you understand things like measurement error.
Oh, yeah.
Because in the real world, things aren't always perfectly precise.
It's not like a computer simulation.
Exactly. So a physical tool can help you see that.
Okay, so the takeaway is that both physical and virtual tools can make different things salient.
Right.
Depending on how you can interact with them.
Depending on their affordances.
Okay, so now we've got these 5 different perspectives.
5 different lenses.
Yeah, and I imagine there's some overlap.
Yeah.
Or maybe even conflict between them.
Absolutely. When you start putting these theories side by side, you see some interesting relationships.
Okay, so what are some of the main points of like conflict or alignment?
All right, so one major conflict is between the more general predictions, like physical engagement and cognitive load. Which tend to favor one type of tool over the other.
Right, like physical engagement says physical is better.
Yeah, general.
Cognitive load often points to virtual.
Right, because you can design them to be less mentally taxing.
Okay.
And then you have the more concept-specific predictions like haptic encoding, embodied schemas, and conceptual salience.
Okay.
So these theories say it really depends on the specific concept.
Right.
And the more recent research seems to be leaning more towards those concept-specific effects.
So it's like the newer thinking.
Yeah, that's where the field is moving.
Okay.
So it's not as simple as just saying physical is always better.
Right.
Or virtual is always better.
It depends on what you're learning.
It depends on what you're trying to learn.
Okay, so another conflict is between physical engagement and cognitive load.
Yeah, so those two often give opposite predictions.
Right.
One says physical is good, one says virtual is good.
Right.
And the problem is that a lot of the research has actually made it hard to separate those effects.
Yeah.
Because they haven't always designed the studies carefully.
Okay.
So, for example, a lot of studies have given helpful instructional text only with the virtual tools.
Right, so then it's like, is it the virtual tool?
Yeah.
Or is it just the fact that it had better instructions?
Exactly. It confounds the results.
Okay.
So we don't really have a lot of clear research that directly compares those two mechanisms.
Like head-to-head.
Yeah.
Head-to-head. Okay, and then there's also a potential conflict between embodied schemas and conceptual salience.
Yeah, so those two are both concept-specific.
Right, they both depend on the concept.
But they operate through different mechanisms.
Okay.
So embodied schemas are about implicit action, like you're not consciously aware of it.
It's just happening.
Yeah, but conceptual salience is about explicit attention.
So you're actually noticing something.
Yeah, you're focusing on it consciously.
Okay.
And it's possible that those two could actually interfere with each other.
Like one could get in the way of the other.
Yeah, so imagine you're learning about a concept. And the physical movement you're doing actually distracts you from noticing a key visual feature.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, and again, there's not a lot of research that directly compares those two.
Okay, so those are some of the conflicts.
Yeah, some of the tensions.
What about alignments?
So there are some alignments, too.
Okay.
For example, physical engagement and haptic encoding both tend to favor physical tools. But remember, haptic encoding is concept-specific.
Only when the touch is relevant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's possible that the benefits of physical engagement might only really happen when there are relevant haptic cues present.
Okay.
But we need more research to know for sure.
We need to test that specifically.
Right.
Okay. And then there's also an alignment
Yeah.
between haptic encoding and conceptual salience.
Right. So physical tools with relevant haptic cues
Yeah.
can enhance learning in two ways.
Okay.
First, by providing that direct sensory experience.
But it's feeling it.
You're feeling it.
Yeah.
And second, by drawing your attention to those features.
So it's making them more salient.
Exactly. It's making them more salient.
No,
but
no, no.
again, the research often hasn't distinguished between those two things.
Like, is it the haptic cue itself?
Yeah.
Or is it just the fact that it's making something salient?
We need more nuanced research to tease that apart.
Okay, so what does all of this mean?
Yeah, what's the big picture here?
Yeah, it really highlights that this is not a simple question.
It is not.
It's not just like pick up a physical tool and you're good to go.
No.
There are a lot of different factors at play.
Multiple mechanisms.
Yeah, and it seems like those mechanisms are probably interacting with each other.
They probably are.
And that leads to like a whole other set of questions.
A whole new layer of complexity.
Yeah, like do these effects add up?
Yeah.
Do they get in each other's way?
You fear.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the research hasn't really answered those questions yet.
It's an active area of research.
So there's still a lot to learn.
A lot to learn.
So after this whole deep dive, what's like the one big message
Yeah, the main takeaway.
you think people should walk away with?
I think the biggest thing is that the relationship between learning and the tools we use is incredibly complex.
Yeah.
There's no easy answer to whether physical or virtual is better.
It's not that simple.
It's not that simple. We've looked at 5 different perspectives.
5 different lenses.
5 different lenses.
Yeah.
And we've seen how they sometimes agree, sometimes disagree.
Yeah.
And that really shows that this is an area where there's still a lot of debate.
Yeah.
And a lot of ongoing research.
So the bottom line is the effectiveness of a tool.
Whether it's physical or virtual.
Yeah, really depends on what you're trying to learn.
Absolutely.
And how that tool is designed.
And how you use it.
And how you use it.
It's all about the design and the implementation.
Yeah, and there are a lot of practical things to think about.
There are?
If you're using a physical tool, you know, try to minimize distractions.
Yeah.
Make sure you're not splitting your attention.
Keep it focused.
Yeah, keep it focused.
And if you're using a virtual tool that has clear advantages.
Like for visualizing something.
Yeah, or for providing feedback. Think about how you're interacting with it and whether that interaction might be creating misleading mental connections.
Right. Like, is it actually helping you?
Yeah.
Or is it kind of leading you down the wrong path?
Is it adding extra cognitive load?
Yeah.
Without any benefit.
Okay.
And I think the most promising approach is to think about how to combine physical and virtual tools.
Like, use the best of both worlds.
Exactly. Leverage the strengths of each.
Okay.
So that's a lot to think about.
It is.
And as we kind of wrap up here, I wonder for you listening, what specific learning challenges in your own life or your work might benefit from you consciously choosing between a physical or a virtual approach.
Like really thinking about which tool is the right tool.
Yeah, which tool is going to be most effective. Host.